Hi everybody, I am back. We are back with the another video of the World Fantasy Football League, aka the Waffle. This time for the International Division. And first up is Trustin Fields. Taking a look at his keepers. Obviously, he's named Trustin Fields because he has Justin Fields on his team. David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, Alexander Madison, Mike Williams, and Aiden Hutchinson. And let's go ahead and jump right into his picks. He has the first pick at 104. He doesn't have a second. He doesn't have a 10th. He doesn't have a 14th. He does have two nines, two 28s, and two 29s. Those 28s and 29s definitely in the wrong rounds. You want those higher, not lower. He does have the 317. His last pick is at 29.15. And I believe he made a couple trades. He traded for Mechie. I think he traded a 14th for Mechie. He's not a keeper. He traded a third for Isaiah Pacheco, which is a good trade because I don't think the Chiefs actually picked up any running backs who are going to try to take over for him. And then he traded Kelsey for, I believe, a third. So he's definitely jumping all around, making some good trades, making some trades that are okay. But yeah, overall, yeah, it's good to have you and in the league, and we're moving on. Next up is Suihino. And Suihino, he's a Devin Singletary, Rashad White, Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins, Traven Burks, and now Jalen Pitre. Suihino, he doesn't make a lot of trades, as we'll see with his draft picks. He does somehow has good players. He finished, I think, in the top. I think he finished sixth in the loser bracket, so he has sixth or fifth in the loser bracket, I should say, because we go to his picks. We see his first pick is 105. He has two picks in the second and two picks in the 14th, and his last pick's at 27.5. So, like I said, doesn't make a lot of trades. I think Nico Collins needs to be upgraded, but other than that, maybe Devin Singletary as well. But honestly, Suihino, you can never count out Suihino. So I'm not going to bash him. I'm not going to talk too much because the man has a strategy and he's usually pretty good with it. And next up is Too Good for a Name. Looking at his keepers, Kenny Pickett, Michael Thomas, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Sterling Shepard, Zach Ertz, and Jordan Hicks. And, you know, Kenny Pickett, I think actually is going to be pretty good. I think top 15 quarterback this year. Michael Thomas, obviously, the guy's a stud. Amon-Ra St. Brown, without Jameson Williams for the first 6 weeks, he's definitely going to be pretty good. Sterling Shepard, Zach Ertz are big question marks for me. Jordan Hicks, definitely a good IDP. But what Too Good for a Name has going for them is the first overall. He moved Melvin Gordon. This will be talked about in the American one. Melvin Gordon and a couple other random people didn't really need no more. They really didn't need to make the trade, but he found a trade partner, and Too Good for a Name is the winner of that. So he has 101. He has two picks in the first, so he also has the 111. He has picks in the third, the 9th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 18th rounders. Three picks in the eighth. Doesn't have a fourth, a sixth, a 21st, a 22nd, a 23rd, a 25th, a 26th, or a 27th. And his last pick is 28.10. So, with that said, I mean, you can't really fault the guy. He does make a lot of good trades. Hasn't made any trades actually in this offseason since the league changed over. But looking at his picks, he doesn't need to. Next up is Curly Lambeau. He is not Lamborghini. He is Curly Lambeau in the Waffle. Looking at his keepers, he has Dak Prescott, Herbert, Jahan Dotson, Brandon Ayuk, Isaiah Likely, and Quay Walker, who he traded a 4th round pick or 14th round pick for. He traded a 2nd round pick, I think, for Clay Herbert, Jahan Dotson. There was also somebody else in that trade. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look. And Dobbs, who I probably would keep, but he also traded a 4th and a 6th for Brandon Ayuk. So Dobbs did fall out there. And looking at his picks, this is where he kind of makes up for that. Here's the pick 103. You have to think it has to be it's going to be a wide receiver. He has two picks in the first. He also has the 112. There's a second, 5th round pick, a 26th, and a 28th. He has a 207, so he definitely does not have his own second round pick, but he does have a pick in the second round. Doesn't have a fourth, doesn't have a sixth, doesn't have a 14th, doesn't have a 27th, and his last pick is 2905. And moving on to Sabatica Spartans. Looking at his keepers, he has Jalen Hurts, AJ Dillon, Michael Pittman, uh, Travis Kelsey, Pat Fryermuth, and Roquan Smith. Definitely, I can't really fault the guy. Can't really talk bad because he finished, I think, third or fourth, in the LOC, the former LOC, I should say. And looking at his picks, his picks 117. So I believe that would make him actually finish fourth. He has two 19s and two 29s, no third, no sixth. Doesn't make a lot of trades. Definitely keeping that two tight end picks or keepers, I should say, is definitely a good strategy because we do start two tight ends in the waffle. AJ Dillon, Michael Pittman, Jalen Hurts obviously is a great fantasy football quarterback. I personally am a big fan of the three running backs and two, or at least a 2-2, and maybe you can keep a tight end. But I don't know if I would keep two tight ends, but I can't fault the guy because Zabaka Spartans also, just like Swahino, they're really good owners. They don't make a lot of trades, and somehow they finish in the top, 4 or 5 of the league every year consistently. International division. Yeah, I think they were actually I think they were probably the best division last year with points for. I believe that when I did the numbers, that's what last year. That's what they were. But yeah, great division. I usually talk crap on them. It's fun. A lot of people actually moved out of the division, so you can't talk too much crap, especially when you have no longer has Susie in your league who beats me every year. Suhino, who I think we have close to a 500 record. He actually might be up. Same thing with Sabatica Spartans. New fresh meat for the division in Curly and Trustin Herberts. Definitely an exciting division to be watching this year. And yeah, that is the international division. Let me know your thoughts.